Hey there, you tuned into Tasty Fingers, and today we're making both the most expensive and the cheapest shawarma. The expensive shawarma will be prepared with some high-end cooking techniques. Now, let's get started on the cheap shawarma. First up, we'll make this sauce. Squeeze the entire pack of mayonnaise into a bowl and add about 4 cloves of garlic. We start with the sauce to give it some time to marinate. Add a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of pepper, 2 tablespoons of vinegar, and a teaspoon of sugar to the may with garlic. From the bunch of dill, just take a small amount and chop it finely. Don't throw away the rest of the dill, it'll come in handy later. Toss the chopped dill into the sauce and mix everything well. Once it's mixed, it's best to transfer it to a squeeze bottle. This will make things easier later. In the chopper, pour in a cup of water, 5 cloves of garlic, and tablespoon each of salt and pepper, and throw in the remaining dill. Blend it all together, then squeeze out the juice from the dill. You should end up with a nice green mixture. Next, we'll take a chicken thief and poke it with a knife. This helps the meat marinate faster. The cuts on the skin also help with this. Let it marinate for at least half an hour. While that's happening, slice some cheese into pieces. Now, cut a tomato into half moons. By the way, for cheap shawarma, we have a pretty decent filling lineup. Don't forget to slice 1 pickled cucumber. Let's move on to shredding the cabbage. You'll also want to pour the ketchup into a squeeze bottle or cut a corner of the packaging. Heat up a skillet and add a little oil. By this time, the chicken thief should be nicely marinated, so it's time to fry it up. Pour that dill marinade over the fried chicken. Just look at that color. It practically screams Halloween. Personally, it reminds me of some kind of magical potion. What does it remind you of? Let me know in the comments. At the end, add crushed garlic and let it sit for a bit. Separate the meat from the bone. And hey, I know you might be thinking the meat should be fully cooked, but you just haven't tried this version yet. Also, keep in mind that this is a cheap shawarma, and that's why we're using every ingredient we can to make it tasty. Now, let's form the shawarma. Since the lavash is cheap and not very high quality, we decided to wrap the shawarma in 2 layers. We spread the ketchup like in the video, then add the shredded cabbage on the top. Next, come the cheese and the pickles. Now we can peel on the meat. Honestly, it's already looking appetizing to me. On top of the meat, we'll add the sliced tomatoes and then some Korean-style carrots. A sprinkle of cheese goes on top of that. Finally, we'll drizzle on our garlic sauce. We've put our all into this shawarma, and that's why it turned out to be ridiculously big. It's more like a giant sandwich than a shawarma. Just look at the size of it. Place the shawarma on a dry, hot skillet. Since this is a budget meal, we're keeping our cooking methods simple. For this shawarma, we need a press to hold it down, and we couldn't find anything better. It might look funny, but it's actually really effective. After about 5 minutes, flip the shawarma to the other side. We were super curious to weigh this giant thing, and it came in at 707 grams. Surprisingly, the cheese turned out very gooey, and we are being honest about this. You can check it out with the brand of cheese we used. Taste-wise, this shawarma is pretty decent and reminds me of those at train stations. We rate it 5 out of 10. Next up, we have the expensive shawarma. We start with duck legs. Score the skin in a crosshatch pattern, but this time it's to render out the extra fat from the duck. Once the duck meat is scored, season it with salt. Don't worry about over-salting. Duck absorbs only what it needs. Next, grill the legs on a preheated grill, or more precisely on a cast iron grill. Combine some foil and butcher paper. Then lay down the seared duck legs. Just look at how appetizing they are already. Top them with some arugula and then wrap everything up tight. Send it to the grill for about 1 hour and 20 minutes at a working temperature of around 250 degrees. While that's cooking, let's peel this exotic pear. Cut it in half and slice into half moons. In a heated skillet, add some butter and place the sliced pear into sauté. Remember to turn off the slices. You should also sprinkle them with brown sugar. This will caramelize the pears. Once you take the skillet off the heat, add a big of cognac or brandy, and while the skillet is still hot, light it. Be very careful not to burn down the apartment. Just in case, you can put the flame out with a lid. Closing it with a lid will help. This method of cooking is called pear flambé. During the burn, the alcohol evaporates, leaving behind an incredible flavor. Now, let's move on to making the sauce. Mix some Roquefort cheese with cream in a 1:1 ratio. Once combined, place the mixture over heat. Be sure to stir it thoroughly and bring it to the right consistency. Now unwrap and slice the brie cheese. While we were doing all this, the hour and 20 minutes have passed. Take a moment to appreciate those duck legs visually. If you think we deserve your like, please give us one under the video. That will be the best reward for our efforts. Now it's time to put together the expensive shawarma. Spread the Roquefort sauce over the lavash, followed by pulled duck meat. Drizzle on some nar sharab sauce, and you can add a bit more Roquefort sauce. Toss on a few arugula leaves and the flambéed pear. On the top of the pear, add slices of brie. Drizzle more nar sharab sauce over everything. Then wrap and roll the shawarma up. This is how they'd prepare it at a fancy restaurant. Here we've imagined ourselves as the chiefs of such a place. Garnish the shawarma with arugula leaves and drizzle of honey. Finish it off with a final drizzle of nar sharab sauce and a sprinkle of pine nuts. And there you have it. The fancy shawarma is ready. I absolutely recommend giving this version a try. You have no idea what flavor sensations you'll miss out if you don't try it. For this shawarma, I'd even give 100 out of 10. Now, just for some fun, let's break down each shawarma separately. Don't forget to subscribe and hit those precious likes. We do all this for you. That's all for now. See you later.